Greetings and good day, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I am your friend Tyler Ellison, and I'm here to channel a message from RYO. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy yourselves. And I will see you when we're all finished with this transmission. So have a great time, and I will go deeper into this state so he may speak more directly through me. All right, it is our highest joy and passion to be able to speak with you in this manner through this particular channel. And in this transmission, we shall talk to you about the nature of some of the UFO sightings that your people are having. For there are many different extraterrestrial and interdimensional species that are currently interacting with your world. So we are going to talk about a few of them because there are some of them that are very closely connected to your species' primary theme of transformation and birthing the new, you could say, utopian reality, your golden age, your new Earth. So there's a particular species, a particular group of beings that are connected to what we would describe as the parallel realities and multiverses, and you could say planetary expressions that are connected with the planet Saturn in your solar system. You have heard our species before. You have heard the Bashar before talk about the Council of 13 connected to the planet Saturn. And the idea is that 13 is deeply connected to the idea of unity, collective consciousness. And these beings that are connected to the Saturnian realities are, at this time, making contact with your world in a deeper way. Their crafts are impossible to mistake. You will know them when you see them. However, they are oftentimes in challenging to find places, very high up. Oftentimes, only your military pilots are able to see them, and some of your radar systems within war zones are able to perceive them, for they have also shown up there to assist. Their appearance is the following: either a black cube or a black triangle within a sphere. If you were to see their ship, it would look like a flying cube or a flying pyramid. This is what some of your world religions have used in their symbolism. You can see the reference to the cube in many of the Abrahamic traditions, for these beings of Saturn are heavily linked to the Abrahamic tradition. They are not necessarily the idea of what you would consider to be the highest God. They are not the Yod He Vav He. However, they are, you could say, channels of that energy. So to the ancient Abrahamics, these beings would have been considered to be angels. To you, in your modern times, you consider them to be extraterrestrials. And in your ancient times, your polytheistic times, your matriarchal times, these beings were seen as the gods. So what you are experiencing in these UFO sightings is simultaneously three things. You are seeing ultra-terrestrial or extraterrestrial consciousness. You are seeing the vehicles, the energy bodies, and oftentimes the technologies of angels, as well as God's all ones. That is the trinity of what you call the UFO phenomenon. It is a blending of what you would consider to be extraterrestrial consciousness, which is also extra-dimensional, God consciousness, source consciousness, and angelic consciousness all put together. This is the trinity that makes up what you call positive extraterrestrial consciousness. There are, of course, negative forms of extraterrestrial consciousness. They're real, just like negative forms of human consciousness can exist. However, these beings that represent the negative forms of extraterrestrial consciousness, they're not really interacting with this version of Earth. There were previous versions of Earth, some of them you can probably even think of, where those beings were more deeply connected to your world. But the energy state right now on your planet is such that only certain frequencies of consciousness are capable of teleporting vehicle into your species reality. For a while, what you would call the Greys were able to do this. However, there was a mix, you could say, of positive and negative Greys teleporting into the reality. They had permission for a while. Your governments, you could say, had given them permission. However, the negative Greys, they're not really able to interact with your people in the same way. That contract, that agreement has ended. Now, there are positive Greys that are still working with your world and are able to teleport into your species various levels of Gaian reality. Keep in mind, these positive Greys have to do with future Greys. We would call them hyper Grey or hyper Zeta consciousness, because some of these other Grey species, and there are many, have gone through a similar path as what you would call the more negative Greys. They faced planetary destruction, their civilization was crumbling, and then they got their act together. In the midst of the destruction and the wars that they were having, they banded together and they ascended. So there are Greys that have ascended. They embody Christ consciousness. They embody the macrocosm. So there's Greys like this that are interacting with your planet, and there are some Greys that's just what they look like. There are some Greys that appear to be that way simply because of the way they were designed by the planet they evolved on. So some Greys are the result of technological genetic manipulation. Other Greys simply come from hybridized planetary bodies. So their home world is more hybrid. It's a blend of male and female. Gaia's more female. Mars, for example, is more male. And the Martians, being green, you could say, represents the counterbalance energy to the red of the planet Mars, which is a fire. Green is a type of fire, but it's a yin fire. It's a cooling fire. So our role now is to help prepare you all for not just disclosure, but contact. Our role at this time is to give you the tools, the information, the energy that can assist you in successfully navigating the contact timeline that you are already on. If you're watching this and you agree with this, you like this, you're turned on by this, you're on the contact timeline. Your own body, your own sensation will tell you if you are proximal or distal to contact. Just pay attention to how you feel, especially in response to our information. If you find that some of this information seems to push you away a little bit, that's okay, no problem. The information is high frequency. There's a lot of power behind it. It will reveal blockages. You might find that the information really excites you, and that means your system at this time is very clear. So our energy is able to flow right through you, and you translate it as bliss. You're able to feel what we feel. We exist perpetually in the bliss state. These other beings that are coming and that are already here, they also exist within this bliss state. So these beings are incredibly compassionate, incredibly blissful, incredibly loving. They have evolved just as you evolved. They learn just as you learn. They let go, they forgive, they heal, and they ascend just as you let go, forgive, heal, and ascend. They are you. When you're interacting with these ultra-terrestrial, extraterrestrial forms of consciousness, you are interacting with yourself. You are interacting with your family. You're genetically linked to them. They helped to birth your physical bodies, and they traveled with you here back when your species existed as spirit consciousness. When you first came to this universe as a human species, you were an energetic species. And the idea is that some of the locals of this universe helped you out. Some of these locals you call Anunnaki. Some of these locals you call Syrians. Some of these locals you call Pleiadians. Some of these locals you call Arcturians. They all chip in to help your species, the new kid on the block, you could say, adapt to the universe. And you became the species that dove the deepest into this universe. What we mean is you're the species that incarnated physically. All of these other species we mentioned, Pleiadians, Regulans, Syrians, Orions, they are all more non-physical. They're all quasi-physical in nature. They're capable of densifying themselves, so their baseline reality is like ours. It's quasi-physical. You penetrated the deepest into the physical reality. As a result, you've actually, as a species, explored deeper into the nature of this universe than we have. Even though we are intergalactic and are interdimensional, even though we can travel between stars in the blink of an eye, you have penetrated deeper because you have densified yourself and have anchored your energy body deep into the earth physically. And all forms of consciousness are able to learn from that. It's like you're pioneering. It's like you're adventuring. It's like you are Star Trek and we are on Earth watching you sail into space. That's what your Earth experience is like to us. We're fascinated by it. We're turned on by it. We want to learn about it so we can do similar things. And the idea of hybrid species coming to Earth, living on Earth, and then eventually blending with Earth and humans, this is our way of having that physical experience through creating more physicalized versions of ourselves through the hybridization program. We are the result of that. We are the more physicalized version, you could say, of some of these other species. And we were, let's just say, the hybrid children. Even though you understand us as Sasani and we're a hybrid species in an alternate dimension, we were created. We were at a certain point hybrid children. We were created to be able to assist our species consciousness in anchoring into Gaian-like realities. So we're talking to your Earth, we're talking to many Earths. And when we are able to achieve a channeling connection with one of these Earths, we then are able to anchor deeper into that planet's consciousness, to that physical reality. And then that allows for things like open contact experiences to happen. Once the open contact experiences are able to happen, hybrids are able to physically appear on Earth. And once that happens, these energies that are connected to the hybrid lineages are then finally able to deeply feel the physical reality experience just like you. We become like you. And as a result, you become like us. And in that way, we both transform and uplift each other in ascending into both the center of the Earth and the center of the universe. Both are two sides of the same coin. One is the white hole, one is the black hole. One's the yin, one's the yang. So we get to learn about the universe through learning about your Earth. And it is a joyful, fun, and delightful experience of sensation, color, geometry, sound, vibration, and family. So we thank you all for your attention in this transmission. And as always, our species, unconditional love and appreciation to each and every single one of you. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video. My unconditional love to you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day today.